Gina Carano scored a huge win over Disney this week, and she's actually reacted now after a federal judge ordered Disney to turn over some financial documents. Let's see what's going to happen here as we talk about this. I was actually named in the case. I was pretty happy. Gina's lawyers actually put one of my articles that I wrote into the document, which I wrote for PJ Media. So thank you, Gina Carano, for acknowledging the hard work I do in journalism. And of course, my business partner, John Trent, right here, is another one who's one of the best journalists out there. We're the only people who cover this stuff without the liberal bias on the and that we focus on culture. So please, this is our Fandom Cole Substack, guys. Sign up in the description below, and so we don't lose you. A lot of the YouTube stuff, you never know when the algorithm's going to come back and the like. Substack lets me stay in touch with you. There is a paid option if you do want to support. Most of the articles are free, but we do this without advertising, and that way we can tell the truth without having to, deal with any of the advertising requirements and the like, where they try to hold conservative media down very often. We really appreciate everybody who's been signing up. We had a huge influx of subscribers this last week, so thank you to all the new people who have joined us. And let's get into this news today. And yes, thank you for being here, my friends. So, Gina Carano shared her thoughts after a judge ordered the Walt Disney Company to turn over financial documents as part of her lawsuit against the company. Gina Carano filed a lawsuit against the Walt Disney Company back in February 2024, suing her former employer for wrongful discharge for refusal to hire and sex discrimination. Now, if you don't know, and you're looking at this going February 2024, it's already April 2025, and not much has gone on. This is how these lawsuits work. I've actually engaged in this myself. I've won a lawsuit against the World Science Fiction Convention, WorldCon, the biggest science fiction convention in the world. In 2018, they actually libeled me and went back and called me a racist bully on their website, which is really sad because I'm not racist or a bully. And so I sued them for defamation. It took 3+ years actually to litigate that. The World Science Fiction Convention ended up spending over $130,000, had to pay me and for their damages, and of course also had to apologize to me publicly. So that was quite a win for me on that. And we actually settled because they actually were running out of money at that point. And that was causing a problem with them. Disney doesn't have that problem, so I don't expect they'll do much other than try to get it to go to the finish. So this is going to be something interesting here. The suit alleges Disney terminated Carano's employment and took the other retaliatory actions to limit and deny her future employment opportunities, including but not limited to making maliciously false statements about Carano with the intention of damaging her reputation and thus her ability to find and retain work. It also states defendants treated Carano differently than her similarly situated male co-workers, who likewise expressed their personal political views on social media, but upon information and belief, were not counseled, disciplined, or let alone terminated. And of course, she talks about Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is a woke activist who's super obnoxious and just says crazy off the unhinged stuff all the time. Gina Carano's stuff that actually she posted was pretty measured in comparison to a lot of the stuff that he says, and very clearly they just did not do anything to him. But with her, boom, she's out. And the reason's obvious, and this is what they do. They discriminate against people for being conservative. Hollywood is very well known for blacklisting. Of course, the publishing industry, science fiction and fantasy and the like, where I operate, are exactly the same. They blacklist all the time, and I've been dealing with that myself. So it's very, very difficult in the arts, and that's why, of course, we need support from people like you. I do have books in the description below. This is my Justified Saga of the Nano Templar. If you're Star Wars fans, by the way, I think you'll love this. It's available on ebook, print, and audio. I'm going to put that in the description below for you as well. So we do journalism, we do our own creative writing, and it's really, really tough. So I definitely feel Carano's pain on that level quite a bit. So in this latest ruling, the United States Magistrate Judge Steve Kim ordered the Walt Disney Company to provide Carano and her team a spreadsheet, chart, or similar summary listing of the compensation, including constituent elements for Pedro Pascal, Rosario Dawson, and Carl Weathers in seasons 1, 2, and 3 of The Mandalorian, for Rosario Dawson for the Book of Boba Fett, and seasons 1 and 2 of Ahsoka, and Amandla Stenberg for The Acolyte. So we're going to see in this lawsuit what Amandla Stenberg got paid. This is going to be very, very interesting. And Diego Luna in seasons 1 and 2 of Andor, together with defendants' verification of accuracy and completeness of this compensation and information provided. Kim also noted that Disney must also include compensation for any leads or supporting actors in season 1, 2, or 3 of The Mandalorian, or who have been hired or expected to reprise their roles from that television show in the feature film that's coming out. Carano's attorney shared this on social media saying, while the court did not give Gina access to everything she was looking for, it made it clear we can seek further evidence on actor compensation, which is awesome. If our expert concludes such evidence is still necessary after we review that Disney produces in response to this order. The court also required Disney to move quickly, giving them only 20 days to comply with the order. The order shows that the court won't let Disney bury relevant information in this high-stakes battle by playing procedural games, which is what Disney loves to do. They want to draw this out. They want to just make it like hurt on Gina's end to make it very difficult for her to litigate this, because it's something that's very, very expensive to do. Lawyers cost a lot of money if you don't know. It's very, very hard to go through with this stuff. And that's why it's always so difficult. I always see a lot of comments on things. Oh, they sue, or why doesn't this person sue? Why doesn't that person sue? I've been, since this time, had to deal with Indiegogo banning me for my comic book projects and Kickstarter banning me for my comic book projects, all because they don't want me to compete with people on this. But honestly, like, when you go up against this and you deal with like what it's going to cost to litigate this, it's very, very difficult to do. I did it one time, and I know exactly what it takes. And so doing this against these other companies, especially when it's way more difficult now, because these companies, when they do things like this, are much cleaner than they used to be. And it's actually kind of my fault on this level, because my lawsuit against Worldcon, I got them because they made a public statement about me. Indiegogo and Kickstarter made no such public statement. They just said, hey, you're in violation of our terms of service. When I ask what the terms of service are, they just say, refer to the terms of service. I know what it is. I know that they don't like this YouTube channel. I know that somebody is an activist inside there, and they want to try to hurt me, and that shouldn't be allowed. It's something that's terrible, and it is actually painful, and actually does cause harm to me as a business. But on the flip side, they're very, very cautious about it, which makes it difficult. Now, of course, Disney is very cautious as well, but they have a big, big company, and there's a lot of people involved in this, and there might be something pretty big when you get into this stuff. So this is what Gina said on this right here. She said this is a small breath of fresh air in this long, arduous process, and it is. She's got a couple more years to go on this, guys, so stay patient on it. Cheer Gina on. I'm very grateful that the court is moving so quickly. I look forward to the details of my case becoming public and clearing my name, which will allow me to continue doing what I love without such brutal discrimination. Well, Hollywood's still going to do that to you. I'm sorry about that, Gina. But I remain incredibly grateful for this opportunity to defend myself against this Goliath. Thank you, Elon Musk and X, for helping with this. So good on her. I'm glad she's getting some of that information. I can't wait for that information to come out, especially seeing what Amanda Stenberg got paid, which I'm guessing is going to be quite a bit because that was such a high-budget deal. Now, as I said, these things are going to go on for a long, long time. It's going to cost a ton of money, and Disney has a lot to lose here. If it goes the distance and Gina Carano is able to actually get justice on this, they're going to be in big, big trouble. Not only that, but they do also have a California lawsuit going on against them as a class action, where a bunch of women are saying that they were paid less than male counterparts. So on the flip side, they're dealing with that as well. They've got a bunch of lawsuits going on, and Disney's having a lot of problems on that front. It doesn't help that, of course, they have doubled down on wokeness in recent years and recent days, coming out with movies that were extremely expensive to make that are going to be giant hundreds of millions of dollar losses as of right now. For Captain America, of course, their race swap that they did there. For Snow White, or Snow Woke, as a lot of people are calling it, which is a dismal failure, going to lose the company $250 million plus probably now that all's said and done. Absolutely dismal, and it's going even worse every single time we get into that box office. They're in for a world of hurt these next couple of years, and we'll see what happens because, it would have been easier just to not treat people poorly and apologize, but this is the evil Disney after all. They won't do that. Please leave a comment down below with what you think. Do you think Gina's going to win this lawsuit? Love to hear from you guys. Love to hear what your thoughts on this are. And yes, I'll try to cover this as I have my experience in lawsuits just like this, my friends. And thank you for supporting me across these years on this. Check out the Fandom Pulse Substack for your real news and entertainment, and grab my novel Justified, Saga of the Nano Templar, in the description below. Thanks for being here.